Hi, so it's a little video with Chris Turner and his wooden boat that he's had for quite a while, on and off, and he's going to talk us through how he sets it up.
Well, what I was going to say was this is sail number 1850, so it's the second oldest boat here, and probably still the original fit out. So a lot of the older boats would have a very similar fit out to this, fairly basic, kicking strap, forestay, shrouds and a Cunningham. The pain in the ass with this system is, obviously you get the windward mark, you always want to let it off on the windward side, so, and because it's not continuous, make sure that you put it back on. And through a race course, obviously pull as much as you can on the right hand side so you've got plenty of lift off. And the same in reasonable conditions when you're raking, you want to do the same with your forestay and the shrouds, or at least make them long enough that you've got enough range to put your mast up right at the windward mark. So that's basically the 4 controls. And this being an old boat that's not been converted to stuff luff, the jib halyard still comes out the back of the mast here. So we don't have as much rake range as the newer boats. So we've got to do a little bit of slightly different style of sailing than what I probably would have done in a newer boat. I'm probably a bit odd in terms of calibration and I don't have any. But what I can tell you is that that's my upright position, which is basically the standard light wind setting that everyone has from the tuning guide, and it is only a guide at the end of the day. And then what I know is that about 1.5 inches off is your first sort of raked position. From there I'm doing everything by feel, so I pull the shrouds on until they're tight, lured tight, shrouds not slack.
Looking at the lured shroud.
I'm also looking at the jib luff.
Yeah.
Because in some conditions, like the 3 race day, rather than raking, I actually just put more rig tension on because there was pretty big holes out there. It was shifty, and I felt actually I'm better off being more powered up and have a slightly tighter luff.
Yeah. So by rig tension, you mean the shrouds?
I just did shrouds only.
Yeah, shrouds
so just
only.
pull my shrouds on a bit harder. As you can see, I haven't got a huge amount of range. I've only got another foot.
Yeah.
So if I rake much further, I'm going to run out of this here. Unlike obviously the modern boats, they've got more range.
Yeah.
But it's just a slightly different technique for when it's breezy. Obviously we can't rake as much, but we just have to sail with a bit more kicker, a bit more Cunningham, and a bit more bending the mast than we would have done with the stuff luff rigs boats. But essentially that's it. I mean, it's still got a standard kicker, conventional style kicker, none of the square kickers.
I think everyone's got them.
Have they? Okay, right. And obviously single pole.
Yeah.
The old school.
What other telltale signs are you looking for of when to adjust? Your control?
That's mainly just been how hard I'm hiking. If I'm hiking hard, I'm still overpowered, then I try and put a bit more, a bit more in. But you've got to set that up for the lulls, not the gusts. So you've got to make sure you're powered up for the lulls and overpowered in the gusts. Because obviously the gusts you can ease your main a little bit, or you can put a bit of kicker on, or a bit of Cunningham. The things you can dump easier, the kicker and the Cunningham.
Yep, they're your first ports of call.
Absolutely, because I can't, again with this system, it's really hard to go upright because your jib halyard's only 4 to 1.
Yeah.
And you're pulling against the shrouds and the leech of the mainsail, and obviously the leech of the jib if you don't let your crew to ease the jib for you. But this boat would have originally had pins on the jib tracks. Obviously we've got the sort of cars that everyone else has got now, which you can control from the windward side. But that's pretty standard, I guess, in everyone's boats now.
I think most of the fleet have got those now.
Yeah. And again, we used to have, back when I first started sailing, this used to be the turning point for the kite. So it never used to go back there. It used to come here straight to a cleat, and we used to literally have that in our hands. No twinning lines, used to sit on it and hold on to it. That was it, old school.
That's when men were real men, wasn't it, Chris?
That's when men were men, yeah. Before you were born, Pete. Yeah. And that's about it, really. Just 42 years young. 40 years young, whatever.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks very much.
Well,